If you found this video, you are aligning with your true heart path. I know that's kind of strange wording, but that's how I was really receiving this information, that this pathway unfolding for you right now is really connected to your heart. And the thing about this path is, although it's so connected to your heart, to your emotions, to your heart chakra energy, your mind is most likely doubting this path because there's something really powerful and really magical unfolding around you right now that the mind can't understand. It can only really be understood through the heart, through your emotions, and specifically through this feeling of passion that you can most likely sense pulling you forward on this path at this time. I'm getting that you found this video because your mind may be generating a lot of fear or working into overdrive, trying to connect these dots. And the famous quote came to me, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking back." And when that quote came into my mind, I realized that these dots are being connected by your heart subconsciously, intuitively, and you're being led forward on this pathway via your emotional impulses. And we'll get into what that looks like in a second. But essentially, I get the sense that your mind is trying to connect the dots looking forward when only your heart holds that information. But the thing about that heart knowing is it's subtle, it's nuanced, it's almost unconscious. It's almost like you're feeling your way through the dark, literally feeling through your emotions, but you are moving in the correct direction, meaning, and when I say correct, I don't mean this in terms of morality, like right or wrong. I mean correct in terms of being the most fulfilling pathway for you at all levels. I feel like this path you're upon is meant to unfold many things that are coming full circle, not just one thing. That's the sense I get here, that you are weaving in a lot of different desires, some of them conscious, some of them deeply subconscious. But that is why this path is, I was going to say it's going to be so fulfilling for you, but I'm getting it already is in some sense. Like you're already feeling the exhilaration here. You're feeling some of that fulfillment. You're feeling some of that excitement, but then you're wondering, can I trust this? Can I trust this heart path? And so you manifested this video because this is meant to be the answer to that question. Yes, you can trust this path that feels so right to you, that feels already so fulfilling to you. You can keep taking that next step forward. Now, there are going to be some signs along the way, and most likely you're already experiencing some of these signs that you are on this heart path. And the first sign is magical synchronicities. So you may be noticing moments of alignment, moments of, I can't believe that person just said that because that's exactly what I was thinking about. Or you are going to be connecting with opportunities or conversations or new people that seem to represent things that are deeply connected to your dreams, to your vision, to you emotionally, to your soul. These are not coincidences. And it's very important that you do not write off these magical synchronicities or talk yourself out of them, because they are meant to be road signs along your path. They are meant to be reminders that you are on the correct path, but also moments of encouragement to keep moving you forward. Because I'm getting that to get here, you've already had to push through a lot of fears. And the thing about these fears is they are being generated by the mind. Specifically, what was coming through when I was journaling this morning is that, well, the exact quote is, "Don't get caught up in false realities created by fear." Now, these false fear-generated realities could be created by your own fears. Maybe you have moments of fear or doubt surfacing within you. And I'm getting that when this happens, sometimes they create these imagined futuristic scenarios based in fear, like, what if I step forward on this heart path and then this happens? Or that happens. And it's like these fear-generated, imagined scenarios that aren't really real. I'm hearing what's real is what's connected to your heart. What you can trust is your passion and your vision and that sense within you that you're on the right path, that feeling. And you're meant to be trusting that over the fear that your mind might be generating. But some of these falsely created matrices, if that's the plural of that word, realities, these falsely generated realities could also be coming externally, meaning there are a lot of people collectively who are living almost in this haze or this fog of fear, where they're unable to find their own heart path because their mind is so clouded by fear, and they are living in, again, what we could kind of think of as this falsely generated reality, or this false reality based in fear that isn't even really real, but it feels real to them because of this fear that their mind is generating. The reality is love. The reality is this passion that is pulling you, this vision that you're sensing. But I'm getting that it's very important to be aware of the ways that your fear could be trying to stop you internally or externally. A message keeps coming up as well that there's something here around emotional safety, meaning part of this fear coming up for you may be almost that evolutionarily programmed part of your brain that once tried to keep you safe, or maybe there actually were certain things in this lifetime that you had to do to be emotionally safe. I'm getting some of this might come from childhood. So maybe when you were a child, you had to conform yourself to fit into a certain family dynamic or societal belief system, whatever it is. You had to conform yourself or dilute yourself in some way to get the emotional support that you needed. And as a child, this really was extremely important to your emotional well-being, your emotional safety. But I'm getting that some of that programming may be lingering into adulthood. Now, for others of you, I'm picking up, there could have been certain traumas that you experienced in your life that caused you to shut down certain parts of yourself because you thought, whenever I express that part of myself, whenever I share that dream, whenever I start building in that direction, it crumbles or it falls apart, or people around me get reactive. And so I'm just going to hide that part of myself. I'm just going to shut that part of myself down. And some of that programming that occurred around those traumas may have lingered into your adulthood. I know I'm giving some specific examples here, so only take what connects for you, if any of that does connect. But I'm just sensing that there may be this lingering programming that's causing you to think, I can't do this, or I need to shut this part of myself down. And yet, that part of yourself is craving being seen. It's craving being expressed. And you found this video because you've reached this point where, as Rumi says, the heart has outsmarted the mind. I can't remember the exact Rumi quote from the Rumi Oracle guidebook, but what I wrote down here is, I feel, kind of a loose interpretation of that quote. And what you might need to hear right now. So I'm going to read this verbatim, what I wrote down. It does not mean that the right choice, the one of the heart, becomes incorrect. It means rather that the heart has outsmarted the mind. Rumi refers to this as heart wisdom, that silent, unspoken knowing of the heart that is ungraspable at times to the conscious mind, and yet that doesn't make it wrong. In fact, it is the right choice. This heart knowing is the right choice, but the mind is kind of reaching here, trying to, I'm hearing grasp at straws, like trying to put this together. If your mind is scrambling to try and understand, well, if I take this opportunity or if I take this step that feels so right for me, that feels so aligned for me, what if this happens, or what if that happens, or what if I regret it? The mind here is trying to figure out futuristically how things are going to go, how the dots are going to connect, how that path is going to unfold. And if you've been sensing your mind doing that, I feel that the message of guidance here is to tap back into your heart and to trust the heart knowing, because the heart knowing is correct here. But the thing about that heart knowing is it only really leads you one step forward at a time. You can sometimes catch a whiff or a sense of what's coming down the pipeline, especially because you are someone who's very naturally psychic and intuitive and really tapped into the energetic realm, so to speak. But even so, you really only know that next step forward that's fed to you in the moment through your emotions, through your intuition. And that's why lately on this channel, a major message that's come through is to tap into your heart and allow your heart to lead you. The very first thing I wrote down in my journal today is lead with the heart, not the mind. The heart is meant to be the leader here. And we've talked about how every part of you, every chakra center, every part of your being generates an electromagnetic energy. And we could think of your main energy centers traditionally by thinking of the 7 chakra centers. That's the way I like to think of it, just for the purpose of simplicity. But the heart is at the center. And while every chakra center generates an energy, heart chakra energy is so much more powerful. It's like 1,000 times more powerful than any of these other chakra centers. When we were more so in a 3D mentality, many of us may have manifested from these other chakra centers, and it is possible to do that. You can manifest from the root chakra, just seeking out this stability and doing what grounds you and what stabilizes you. But it's a very slow moving, gradual energy. You can manifest from the mind. You can just kind of put out this concrete, cold visual of what you want and attract it back via the mind. But not only is it a slow moving process to try to manifest from these other chakra centers, but sometimes when we do manifest those things, they don't necessarily feel connected to our hearts. It's like we created this or we manifested this, but then we start to wonder, is this really aligned with what I deeply want? The beautiful thing about manifesting through the heart chakra dominantly is that the realities that we manifest, the things we manifest via our heart, are connected to our deepest core emotions and desires at all levels and layers. And not only that, but heart chakra energy, being the center of our being, is actually what keeps everything else in balance, physically, mentally, emotionally. So when we're focused on aligning and tapping into the heart, we actually can tap into, yes, this supercharged, powerful energy. But as we manifest with that powerful energy, we are manifesting in a way that harmonizes with our being at all levels and layers, that feels aligned to us. And things actually can begin to happen so much faster when we're manifesting with the heart. And I'm getting, if you found this video, that's the kind of momentum that you're beginning to see in your own life. You're beginning to notice these moments of synchronicity, these conversations, these meetings that align with what you truly desire at a heart level, because you've been tapping into and utilizing that heart chakra energy in a new way. But I'm getting one thing that the mind might be saying here is, am I going crazy? Like, it's almost judging this feeling of the synchronicities picking up and things beginning to happen. The mind is wondering, is this craziness? Am I losing my mind? Well, in a sense, you are losing your mind, because the mind is no longer in control here. Yes, the mind has its place. And I feel another message coming up was about getting the mind and the heart on the same page, and how that is the ultimate combination when we're using that heart chakra energy to manifest, but we've got our mind aligned with the heart and on board with that as well. And I'm actually considering making a new subliminal in my app, Sound and Soulful, that's specifically for aligning the mind and the heart. So let me know in the comments if you'd like that subliminal, if you are a member in the app. And if you haven't explored my subliminals, I always leave a link to download the app underneath this video as well. So stay tuned. I will let you know if I end up adding that to the app. Maybe I'll leave a follow-up comment here later on if I do add that to the app. But when we get the mind and the heart on the same page, this is the ultimate combination, the ultimate partnership, so to speak. When I said that word partnership, I felt that maybe for some of you, you are considering or shifting into some kind of partnership. Now, maybe this is internal, where you are partnering or joining two aspects of yourself that were kept separate or seem to be disconnected. This literally could be you allowing your mind and heart to come into this partnership, so to speak, this connection where they are on the same page and mutually benefiting each other. For others of you, maybe you are considering a literal external opportunity, a relationship, a connection, a business partnership, something where you are working with a team of people or another person to achieve some kind of vision that is really connected to your heart. And I'm hearing your heart will guide you through all of this, whether this is something happening internally or externally. It's funny because when we're talking about you almost wondering, am I losing my mind? Because there are all these synchronicities. The message that came through is you're really starting to tap into the magic of the universe. And it's almost like you're feeling this deep exhilaration from that, but then almost thinking like, what is going on here? Like, why is this feeling so intense? Why is this feeling so powerful? And what my guides were saying is, what feels like craziness is actually a moment of lucidity. It's like you are suddenly seeing everything clearly. You are suddenly realizing things in your life that are coming full circle. I'm getting chills all over as I say this. I know this is tapping into something powerful for someone, but I know that we said you can't connect the dots looking forward. And so I feel like that is at play here, where you're looking forward into the future, into this vision, this opportunity, or these steps forward, wondering, how is this all going to connect? And your mind is like scrambling to try to figure that out, but your heart is just silently, calmly guiding you that next step forward. However, I'm getting something else is happening here as well, that you're connecting dots looking back. I said you can't connect the dots looking forward, only looking back. But I'm getting, this is almost a moment where it's like a breaking point or a crossroads of some kind, or a full circle moment where, yes, there are dots looking forward that you can't yet connect mentally, but looking back, you actually are connecting dots. Something is coming full circle where it's like this aha moment, this moment of lucidity, this sudden clarity, this sense of, whoa, that's why that had to happen. Or this keeps reminding me of the video I did called Don't Mistake the Initiation for the Destination, because the sense I'm getting is that you are looking back, having this full circle moment, realizing, wait, everything that's happened up until this point has been preparing me to be able to take this leap or to take this step or this opportunity that I'm now feeling myself being presented with. It's like this moment of suddenly everything that's happened. And for some reason, I keep hearing something about the last 7 to 10 years. Maybe that's a time frame that's significant for someone. That's been coming up a lot in recent readings, but I feel like something is suddenly making sense about your past. Like you're realizing why you had to go through something to get to where you are now, or you're realizing everything that you've been through. It's almost like you thought your story was over, or you thought you'd written a story. And I'm hearing it was only a subplot to a bigger story, or it was a necessary side quest, or it was a necessary activation. But your story is even bigger than you ever imagined it to be or allowed yourself to imagine it to be. And that new unfolding bigger story is happening now, but it requires you to take some kind of step or take some kind of leap. Now, the thing about this leap is it feels almost kind of drastic to the mind, but it's a calm knowing in the heart space. And you are going to realize at this moment of leap, whether it's, I'm hearing saying yes, maybe you're saying yes to a new idea or a vision or a project or an offer. The thing about this is, I feel like it's actually something coming to you very naturally. And what I wrote down here is everything about this feels natural, easy, and flowing. And this was in quotations, almost like you're saying this to yourself. I'm hearing too good to be true. So this actually might feel so natural, so easy, so flowing, so right, that even in that, the mind might question it. So when I say you're taking a leap, it's not that you're doing something unnatural. Again, there's so much I want to say here, but it's almost like you are at, I'm hearing X marks the spot. You are standing on that X. You're at the perfect place, the perfect intersection of combinations, circumstances, things in your life to say yes or to take this opportunity. But your job is just to stand on that spot bravely, to stay in that alignment. And then this thing comes to you naturally, whether it's an idea, an offer, an opportunity. And I'm getting that whatever this is, it quantum leaps or quantum shifts your reality. It up-levels you very quickly. But again, it feels natural, easy, and flowing at the same time. It doesn't feel harsh. It doesn't feel like you are forcing something. In fact, it feels like I'm hearing all that's required is for you to accept it, for you to say yes, for you to stay on this place of alignment until this thing comes to you, and then to embrace it because it feels aligned with your heart, and not to allow your mind to get you to shut everything down that your heart has been working towards here, that your heart has been moving towards. Because what I'm hearing is this next step, this opportunity, this thing was built for you. I kept actually getting the words custom made for you, and you were made for it. It's like the perfect, again, intersection of things, people, timing, every aspect and angle of this imaginable, just like the universe literally designed this moment of quantum shift for you, this quantum leap. But again, it's almost like you start moving super fast, but you almost feel as though, wait, this feels so natural. It feels so right. It feels so easy. But it's like you went through this wormhole or something, and you suddenly quantum shifted into this other timeline or this other reality. Now, I'm getting that this is going to connect with you in a way that's meant to reach you at this time, but that could reach you at a different place on your journey than someone else listening to this. So what I mean is, for some of you, maybe you've now been presented with this opportunity or this step, and you know what I'm talking about, and all of the timing feels perfectly right, but that self-doubt is creeping in. For others of you, maybe you already embraced this opportunity and you're on the other side of this quantum shift, and this is just kind of recounting to you what's happened here for confirmation. For others of you, Maybe you're thinking about keeping yourself in some kind of position of alignment. I'm hearing allowing the right people to find you, and the word visibility is coming up. It's almost like maybe you are making some aspect of yourself or your work or your business or something you are putting out there, you are opening up and then allowing that opportunity to come to you. But it takes this bravery even just to leave something out in the ether or leave something open or allow some aspect of yourself to be visible in some way. So again, take this however it's connecting. I know this is going to meet you at a very personally important time on your journey. What I'm getting is a lot of information about how the people around you are reacting to this as well, because what I'm picking up is that you've been worried about who can come with you on this journey and who can come with you in this new timeline. And we spoke in a recent reading on breaking through the fear barrier. And I'm getting so many goosebumps again. Lots of powerful spiritual energy coming through here for you. But we talked about how people may actually be reacting to you breaking through this personal fear barrier. Almost like breaking through a sound barrier is what we compared it to, where I believe, if I remember right, we said breaking through the sound barrier is when you move from subsonic to supersonic. So things begin moving a lot faster, but first you have to go through this period of time where you're met with a lot more resistance. And I feel that you had to hold your ground through that, but that now for many of you, you're really beginning to shift into that supersonic territory where, again, as you embrace this opportunity, things are going to start moving a lot faster for you. It's going to feel a lot more exponential for you. But we talked about how there may be people around you who are actually reacting in fear to you breaking through your own fear barrier. And the interesting thing that came through today is a bit surprising, and you might be noticing this, which is, well, what I actually channeled is the moment you truly affirm and decide in your heart that you are ready for this, and you express that readiness, it's almost like that's the moment you break through this fear barrier. And what's so strange is people around you actually seem to react differently to you. It's like they were just waiting for you to be fully ready, to be fully sure, to shift into that energy. And then it's almost like suddenly people around you that may have not been supportive in the past or may have reacted in fear suddenly will start to support you or jump on board, or it's like they totally shift their reaction to you. Now, of course, this may not be everyone in your life. People may choose to react differently, but I'm just getting this sense that many people in your life, I get that. I'm almost tearing up here because it's reminding me of a quote about how very often, once you're truly ready to face your fear and do it with confidence, it's almost like what you were afraid of disappears. And I see that happening here almost like a phantom, like it was just a ghost. It was a phantom. It wasn't really real. It was some kind of illusion. And this so fits with everything we've been describing related to these fears coming up, that they're just false realities. And one false reality here, I feel, was this imagined reality, or maybe not even fully imagined, because I actually see for some of you, you did trigger or get these reactions out of people around you where you worried that they weren't going to be able to come with you or weren't going to be able to support you. But the strange and surprising thing is, I feel that when you truly are ready and you face that fear and you say to yourself, I know that this person or this group of people might not support me, or they might not be able to come with me, but I also know that this heart path is more important and valuable to me than the reactions of other people. And I'm willing to keep stepping forward in faith on this path that connects so deeply to my heart, regardless of how anyone around me reacts to it. And it's almost like the moment you lock that in within yourself truly, and you stand in your power and you step forth thinking, I might lose everything, I might lose everyone in my life, that moment, in a snap instant, people start reacting to you differently. They actually support you, almost like the whole time it was a test, but not a test that they were conscious of. It's not like the people around you were consciously testing you. It's like they were being used as a vehicle to test your faith in this dream, to give you this opportunity to push through the fear barriers so that you can start moving exponentially fast. And we are going to be closing this part of the reading very shortly. I feel like this is a complete thought here. So if you've received everything that you need here, that is beautiful. I'm so happy you were here connecting in on the channel. If you're still desiring more information, more details, a deeper dive here, then I invite you to join me in the extended reading. So I will be leaving a link to where you can listen to the extended reading on YouTube memberships or on Patreon if you're already a Patreon member. And those links will be in the description box of this video, as well as the pinned comment. I just feel guided to close this reading, kind of bringing everything full circle, which is trust your heart path, trust your heart knowing, because the reason this video has drawn your attention or come up on your feed is because you've reached this tipping point. You've reached this moment where I see like there's been this building momentum. Your heart has been building this vision and it's ready for you now. And maybe even more importantly, you're ready for it. You're ready. Don't doubt your readiness. You know deep down that you are ready for this, that this has been built for you, and that you can embrace this next step on your journey. And I am so grateful to be part of your journey here virtually in some way. And of course, if you do want to join this channel, then feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you here. And you can also leave me a comment and let me know if anything here connected with you in some kind of personal way. I really hope that through these videos, I can support you in some way along your journey, because I feel and I sense that you are on some kind of very powerful pathway here, and there's so much more to be shared about that in future videos. So thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your beautiful light and power and energy to this video today. I hope you have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.